you'll get a red book, turn to number 269. 269.
What a wonderful change in my life has been wrought since Jesus came into my heart. I have light in my soul for which long I had sought since Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart. Floods of joy o'er my soul like the sea billows roll. Since Jesus came into my heart. I have ceased from my wandering and going astray. Since Jesus came into my heart. And my sins which were many are all washed away. Since Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart. Floods of joy o'er my soul like the sea billows roll. Since Jesus came into my heart. I'm possessed of a hope that is steadfast and sure. Since Jesus came into my heart. And no dark clouds of doubt now my pathway obscure. Since Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart. Floods of joy o'er my soul like the sea billows roll. Since Jesus came into my heart. There's a light in the valley of death now for me. Since Jesus came into my heart. And the gates of the city beyond I can see. Since Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart. Floods of joy o'er my soul like the sea billows roll. Since Jesus came into my heart. I shall go then to dwell in that city I know. Since Jesus came into my heart. And I'm happy, so happy as onward I go. Since Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart. Floods of joy o'er my soul like the sea billows roll. Since Jesus came into my heart.
Good morning, everybody. Good to be here again today. Really been looking forward to church. It seems like, every week as time goes on, I get more and more excited about coming to church. And it's amazing to look back, even just a couple of years ago and just see the lack of joy I had, about coming here. But now I'm just, I love to be here. This morning I will be in Luke chapter 5 or 6. I've got it right here. Let me get there. I'll be in Luke chapter 6. And I'll start in verse 1 and go through verse 11. And I hope I can make some sense today. I struggled to get it down on paper. I've been thinking about it all week, but writing it down was a struggle. But anyways, we'll start in verse 1. It says, "And it came to pass on the second Sabbath after the first that he went through the cornfields, and his disciples plucked the ears of corn and did eat, rubbing them in their hands. And certain of the Pharisees said unto them, Why do ye that which is not lawful to do on the Sabbath days? And Jesus answering them said, Have ye not read so much as this, what David did when himself was an hungered, and they which were with him, how he went into the house of God, and did take and eat the showbread, and gave also to them that were with him, which is not lawful to eat, but for the priests alone. And he said unto them, that the Son of God, or the Son of Man, is Lord also of the Sabbath. And it came to pass also on another Sabbath, that he entered into the synagogue and taught, and there was a man whose right hand was withered, and the scribes and Pharisees watched him, whether he would heal on the Sabbath day, that they might find an accusation against him. But he knew their thoughts, and said to the man which had the withered hand, Rise up and stand forth in the midst. And he rose and stood forth. Then said Jesus unto them, I will ask you one thing. Is it lawful on the Sabbath days to do good or to do evil, to save life or to destroy it? And looking round about upon them all, he said unto that man, Stretch forth thy hand. And he did so, and his hand was restored, whole was the other. And they were filled with madness, and communed one with another what they might do to Jesus. That's where I'll stop. But what I wanted to talk about today, and when me and Case was reading these verses this week, what really popped in my head is what the Pharisees were so concerned about. They were so concerned about the Sabbath and the law that they did not recognize God working right in front of them. It was as if they had a path, and a path that they had planned, and they just made sure that path. They made sure that path included some church, but they were the ones dictating where that path was going instead of God. And that, I was really thinking about this week about the path that we're on. And I thought about my favorite verse in the Bible is Hebrews chapter 12, verses 1 and 2. And it says, Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. And looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. We all have a path that God has set before us. Now, whether we follow that path or not it's up to us. God He calls us on a journey, but we don't necessarily always follow that. And I know I haven't for a large portion of my life. I followed my own path, and I made sure that I made stops at church here and there, but I wasn't going where God was calling me to go. And I think sometimes we look for God to work in our life, and we ask Him to put wind in our sails to help us go forward, but we're not facing the right direction for Him to put any wind in our sails. And if He would, then it would push us in a totally opposite direction. So today I just wanted to talk about the path we're on, and being in the right direction before God can work in our lives. And I know this is probably not making a lot of sense. Like I said, I struggle getting it down on paper. But the path that God calls us on, it's gonna be a struggle. It's gonna be hard. It's not for the weak. It is for the weak, but we can't do it alone. We have to we have to walk down that path with God. And just like Hebrews says, we can't walk this carrying the things of the world with us. We've got to be able to walk this path and to be able to keep going on it without turning off left or right. We've got to lay those things down. We've got to look to the Lord to sometimes even carry us on that path. I heard this week it was talking about Moses and the Israelites being led out of Egypt, and it was talking about the path they were on, and the Egyptians were hot on their tail, and they come to the Red Sea. They come to a big major obstacle, and God didn't remove that obstacle completely out of their way. He parted it and made a path for them to continue on. There's going to be obstacles in our life. There's going to be obstacles in our Christian walk that are going to be difficult. They're gonna try us. They're gonna wear on us. And it may not look like there's a way out or a way through it. God may not remove that just out of our lives, but God makes a way for us to continue. If we follow Him and if we lean on Him, there's a way to continue on your path, as long as you're following the path that the Lord has set. That's about all I had today. I know it was jumbled and probably didn't make a lot of sense, but I'm not a very good outliner. In the book world, you have planners, and they call the non-planners, they call them pantsers, and I'm a pantser. When I write, I just go for it. I'm not very good at outlining, so I apologize if today didn't make any sense. I hope you got a little bit out of it. Does anybody have anything before we go to our classes?
I felt it is a blessing to be here this morning. I'm glad the Lord shows us He's still in the healing business. And I want to do this. Gwen and Jim Crocker are here with us. It's been a long time since they had the strength to be here. So are you glad they're here today?
Amen. All right, if there's nothing else, Brother Danny Shockley, will you dismiss us in prayer?